This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, Real MVPs, Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic.
Grass tastes bad.
And we are back. You haven't said that one in a while.
No, I haven't.
That was a nice little touch, and it was a nicely, it didn't peak too much on the audio. Thank you, because my brain's not working this morning. That was really nice. That was a nice touch.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the podcast. But welcome in to the Rick and Johnny podcast, where we're talking about everything nerdy that you want. Superheroes, movies, TV, everything under the two nerdy sons. And Johnny, do we have a jam-packed show today?
We do.
Because we're talking a little bit of Marvel. We're talking a little bit of DC on this one. And then we're talking a little bit of Disney. The three big punch, or should I say, I want to say the three main punch, or usually it's the 1-2 punch, but for three, it's the trio for this one. As the Black Widow movie, we know who the villain is apparently. We've seen set pictures of Taskmaster. You and I are going to speculate on what his role could be in the movie, doing what we love to do. Then we're taking a topic from last week, but I'm glad we pushed it back a week because now I'm going to revamp the conversation because Warner Media signed J.J. Abrams to basically make properties for their streaming service, but now there's rumors that he could potentially be asked to revitalize or reboot the DCEU also, now that they have him under their wing and the ink has not dried on their deal yet. So you and I are going to look into that. Could he reboot the DCEU? And then we're going to end the podcast with a fun one where the Disney live actions are rolling out. The Lion King comes out later this month, as you guys see this in July. Well, it looks like we could have our Ursula for the live action Little Mermaid movie. And we'll ask the question of, should Melissa McCartney be Ursula in that Disney live action movie? Before we get into everything, make sure to check us out on Patreon. Patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. That is how you help support us. $1, $5, $10, bronze, silver, and gold. You can help us out any way you can. The $1 tier is the easiest. You get the MVP podcast a month early. You get access to the Discord channel. Yesterday, we were talking fast break basketball.
Nice.
Kind of talking about whose team for the draft we had on the fast break was better. Duh, it's mine. But you could join that Discord, talk with us. There's also some nerdy stuff. Soapy in there is a gamer and a nerd as well. So it's a great time. Check that out down below. But Johnny, let's jump into this Marvel news. Black Widow movie.
Movie?
The movie.
We're saying the Black Widow movie.
We got a lot of info, not just Taskmaster. So we got photos that Taskmaster has been seen. We also have photos that they're in Budapest filming the film. Yes, I know. We're finally going to get the Budapest reference and probably even have an answer to the Budapest references because it's been referenced throughout the entire MCU. We've also seen, and I'm going to screw this name up, basically it is Florence Pugh. She is playing Yelena Belova, who is the Black Widow in the comics and cartoons.
Successor.
She's the successor, but in the comics, I believe she is sent to kill Natasha. And then it's basically like, oh no, we're on the same side. And then she eventually takes the Black Widow mantle from Romanoff before becoming Black Widow herself. We also know that the movie, this is from, CBR, which I believe is Comic Book Review. CBR.com basically said they show Scarlett Johansson and Florence at the wheel of a 2017 BMW 5 Series touring wagon, combining this with the fact that ScarJo's hair doesn't have a trace of white dye. The Black Widow prequel appears to be set between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War. I know I laid out a ton. Let's start with Taskmaster. He's the big one. Marvel fans have been wanting to see him for a long time in the MCU. I will ask you this, Johnny. What do you think, just from the one picture, from everything we know now about the Black Widow movie, apparently, or supposedly we know about the Black Widow movie, what do you think his role is going to be in the entire story?
I'm trying to think because, so the story we talked or kind of summarized that like she in the comics is sent to kill Black Widow. My guess it's almost like he's going to try and recruit her, or it's going to be like a semi-dual villain until they realize, okay, we have sort of a common enemy in Taskmaster and we need to kind of work together. It's a hard one to pick out because like if you have someone that's sent to kill ScarJo, where does that leave Taskmaster in all this?
And that's an interesting thing to where I like what you said about the dual villains.
Yeah.
Because to me, if you're going to count Belova in it, I think this could have a 3-villain thing. Of where I feel like early on it's going to be they might do the Belova sent to kill her.
Yeah.
And then it's like you know what, now we're on the same team. But I kind of have a feeling because Taskmaster in the comics and in everything that we've seen, he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
So I almost have a feeling it's like, okay, who is paying Taskmaster to kill? Is it the Red Room? Basically, they're like, oh, our spy that we sent to kill Natasha has gone rogue. We need someone else. We need to call a mercenary to kill them. Or is it a different one? The big overarching baddie.
I'm wondering if it is
for him.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be a weird way to say this, as I didn't mute that.
The annual
Annual so
from
yearly.
Well, the weekly.
There you go.
The traditional.
There you go.
Johnny phone noise. But go ahead with what you're saying.
So it's gonna be I'm gonna throw this one out there. So Natasha's on a mission, and maybe it's like a false mission kind of sent out there, like a false thing for them to send her out on a mission.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be that it's a kind of a trap for Belova, right? To assassinate her. It's gonna be like the switch over. She's gonna convince her otherwise, and then her handler is going to say, well, she failed me, killed them both. Because you have the scene where Taskmaster is chasing them both down in a tank as they have like a ripped apart, what was that, the Beetle you said, Volkswagen?
Yeah, the C...
Whatever
what
type
is it?
of...
The BMW 5 Series.
Okay, whatever.
Touring wagon.
Touring wagon, okay, Volkswagen.
Johnny's like, fancy words for Volkswagen.
Yeah, so... That's like that. I think it's that scene like right there is going to be him. Well, I'm being paid to kill you both, so
yeah, and
let's go all out.
Another thing that I kind of am looking at, and this is something that now I looked into it a little bit right now, and by looking into it, I'm not as upset as I originally am. But one thing that people are kind of looking at is, okay, the look of what we are seeing from Taskmaster, and he's got in the comics a distinct look to him because he's got his usually the white cloak, he's usually has the skull mask, but in this one, and I'll try to put the shot up here as we're talking about it, there's a good shot of him from the front, and to me, I'm going to be honest, I'm not super hyped about it because he basically looks like a budget version of Lord Zed to me. Like, looking at the face with, like, the silver bottom with the silver line that segments the blue groupings at the top, I look at that mask and I go, of course, this is a grainy picture also.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done,
grainy distance
I
picture.
might be eating my words and Marvel will be saying, well, Ricky, what are you saying now? But right now, from looking at it, he almost looks, I'm like, why am I looking at Lord Zed in a Black Widow movie? However, this is the question that I'm going to pose out to you, is are we going to get the traditional Taskmaster setup, or could we get in the comics, and I'm looking here on MarvelFandom.com, and this is what it says. I'll read a little bit. Under the segment New Taskmaster, eventually the Taskmaster considerably changed his appearance. He wore a costume apparently modeled after tactical body armor replacing his previous pirate-themed garb. The Taskmaster also ceased carrying an arsenal of duplicate weapons. Taskmaster began operating as more traditional mercenary instead of as an instructor. He first met Sandy Brandenburg after beginning his mercenary MO. Taskmaster spent some time around Wade Wilson after Deadpool became famous for the Four Winds hit and hired Sandy as his personal assistant. Wilson was not responsible for the hit. However, the real assassin, Black Swan, came after him and his friends. Wilson and the Swan were seemingly killed in the explosion. And it goes on from there, but the big thing is when he was new Taskmaster, he did have, and looking at the comic, it is more of a tactical suit. He does have, like, the picture I'm looking at, he has the one kind of pistol that he's aiming at the cop, but it is a very blue and white suit that he has. Is that what Marvel's going with?
The blue suit I'm not having the problem with. It's the helmet, and I'm hoping, like, I'm not having when I say I have a problem with them saying, like, not a big fan of how it looks, but I'm going with the idea that this is, like, early Taskmaster, and by either the end or a post-credit, we'll get skull-faced Taskmaster, whether it's, like, a Killmonger version of, like, I like this mask. Just takes the other one off and puts it on. Like, we don't even get to see his face, maybe.
Which I don't want to. I don't want to see his face at all. But, like, that to me is the big one is, are we going to... Because Marvel has not been afraid in the past to say, hey, this is how you remember them from the comics. Fuck that. We're doing it our way.
Yeah, that's true. They are willing to do that. I'm just like, the blue, like I said, the blue suit thing is not a problem or doesn't bother me because I remember him in the comics and stuff being like that.
Yeah.
So it's usually like comics and cartoons. He's got the bluish colored suit.
Do we see, and this is just popping into my head because you had mentioned it with the Killmonger thing. Do we see him get that skull mask that we're used to? Or is it more of like how do I want to put it? Is it more of like a tease kind of a thing where it's more of that, like, he makes a reference to him at, oh, that would be cool, and then kind of moves on. We're sitting there going, oh, I get it. That's a mask that he would have had in the comics. Instead of him at the end...
I'd rather have him get it, though.
I would rather it, too.
I'm hoping Marvel would, like, work their way into that. And I get, like, them doing it this way because, yeah, you want him to be like, hey, he's, like, maybe their mercenary or someone's mercenary coming after someone. And this is, like, that makes a pivotal, almost like a somewhat Taskmaster origin movie. Because he's also supposed to have the power to, like, study someone.
Yeah, the photographic
memory of, like, their fighting style.
Yeah, it's once you use a move against him,
he can use it.
He knows how to counter it, and it's basically like, well, that move is useless.
Oh, it's how to counter? I thought it was how to use the move as well.
How to use it, how to counter it, because I know, like, I was going to reference the Spider-Man video game that came out.
Yeah.
They had a cool mechanic in there where when you were going up against, he was a mini boss, and he had, like, certain stages that you need to do for him. When you fought him, if you were on the second, third battle with him, I couldn't use the move that I used in the first fight because I had already used it. He had learned it and now knows how to counter it.
Yeah.
So it's basically, in order for him, you almost have to get him from behind when he's not looking, or you have to hit him with something
you haven't used yet,
new that you have not used. The thing that I'm thinking about in the back of my head, you had referenced it at the very beginning. The Spider-Man video game actually referenced this. Is this going to be something where Taskmaster is... Because we're all thinking the main general thing is he's a mercenary, someone's hiring him to kill Black Widow and Belova. Or could it be like in the Spider-Man video game where he's like, I was sent here by some company or some special forces unit to recruit you and see if you were up to the task of being in this special group. And in that, he says, oh, well, it pays 6 figures. After Spider-Man says, no, fuck off, basically. He said, well, it pays 6 figures. And Spider-Man's like, fuck, man, that's a lot of money. Could we see that maybe in this one where maybe he's not working for someone to pay him, he's working as a recruitment tool for someone. Like somebody wants to try to recruit Belova or Black Widow into their evil organization.
Belova, not Black Widow, because everyone knows by then in the timeline, because the timeline
this is
discussed
before Infinity War.
Before Infinity War, but by now everyone knows Black Widow's on the good guy side.
Well, the only thing is she is at this point, and it's interesting, is this before she is with Rogers? Because before Infinity War, she's with Steve Rogers doing the whole kind of secret Avengers thing.
Yeah, but everyone has the idea, for the most part, that she is
on the good side.
On the good side, because of all this stuff, like
the deleted scene that they had from Civil War where she was talking to, what was his name? The blonde-haired guy, where basically in the deleted scene, she goes, well, I'm going to just release all this information out to the world.
That was actually from Winter Soldier.
Was it?
She
thought
dumped
that was a deleted scene.
all the information.
And then he goes to her, are you prepared for people
your
to learn about you? And she said, yeah. Like, so then maybe that scene is basically them referencing she is good and there's no turning her back to her. Maybe he's trying to then recruit Belova to see if she's up to the task of basically if she's good enough to best me, then she's okay to join this force. And then maybe it's Black Widow who's like, no, I can't let you do that, and is pulling her from Taskmaster who's trying to get her. That would be interesting as well. But I do know for sure. I can't say no for sure because I'm not in the room. I think I know for sure that when it comes to Taskmaster in this movie, I do not think he is the main bad guy. He's not the I almost said Killmonger, but Killmonger. He's not the Killmonger. He's the Ulysses Claw.
Okay.
He's not the, what do I want to do? The AIM. He's the Mandarin. Where basically, he's not the one that the end of the film is wrapped around. He's that kind of middle of the movie boss. Where it's
he's not Aldrich. He's AIM / the Mandarin.
Yeah. Where they best him, and then, okay, that then moves the story along into, okay, who were you working for? Who were you besting? But I
sort of crossbonesing him, but with more of him in the actual story of this. Because Crossbones didn't have a whole lot in either storyline he was in.
I'll be honest, Winter Soldier, after reading the comic Winter Soldier, I was excited for him in that movie.
Rumlow.
And it was kind of like, oh, he doesn't have as major of a role as he did in the comic.
I mean, it was nice to get him, and then they kill him off right away in Age of Ultron. It's like, oh, well, that sucked.
Yeah,
we didn't get much Crossbones.
I really wanted to see more of him. The thing I will say I'm excited most for Taskmaster, though, introduce him in this film. Because it's a prequel film, because it's in Civil War, between Civil War and Infinity War, guess what we can then do if they wanted to? End of the movie, he gets his traditional pirate garb. Could you imagine a Deadpool Taskmaster movie? Or a Deadpool movie where Taskmaster is the villain? Because they could do then a Deadpool movie where it's like Deadpool is hired by somebody to have the hit on this guy, but Taskmaster's also sent in for that hit. And Deadpool's like, whoa, bro, there's only one mercenary in this town, and that's Wah. And it's basically them going at each other to get the same hit. I don't know if that's the entire movie, or if that's like halfway through, and then there's even a bigger baddie.
Probably the halfway.
Like, now that Marvel has Deadpool, they could do that if they wanted to.
That would be funny is they both go for the same hit, and like partway through it, he Taskmaster actually gets the hit, and Wade goes,
exactly, kind of like Wade goes to like cut the head off, and it's just like bullet. What? That was my hit, basically. And then
"Oh, you're dead now."
And then it's basically Wade the whole movie. We gotta kill this guy. Like to Domino, we gotta kill this guy. Who is he? He's taking my thunder, taking my money. I have so many expensive hobbies. And he's basically got like a ton of like half done crafts and shit in the corner. Obviously, Ryan Reynolds will do it way better than I'm doing it right now. But that is even something that they could do. If they rebooted the Iron Man character, if they rebooted the Iron Man character with an Iron Heart, they could have him be that. If they even did in an Avengers movie, Taskmaster is an Avengers villain as well.
Yeah.
There's so many properties that they could use him in now that they have the Fox stuff and the Disney stuff that I can't wait to see how he's introduced to this world. And I hope he's not given the Crossbones treatment of, oh, he's nice, let's see what, and he's dead. He is dead.
Well, there goes that.
I don't think they would kill off Taskmaster, though. Any final thoughts with this before we move on into our DCEU topic with J.J. Abrams?
No, this is going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out. When we finally get, like, something for the movie aside from, like, 2 pictures.
Like actual trailers and stuff?
A trailer or just a little bit more information down the road when it's, like, the trailer's ready to come out.
Do you think we'll get a solid answer for Budapest? Do you think we'll be sitting there going, all right, you're leaving this one open-ended?
We're going to get a hint at Budapest, and that's it. We won't get anything solid.
Another Budapest reference with no actual answers with the Black Widow movie. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What are you expecting from the Black Widow movie? What are your expectations? Cameo. Do you think there will be one?
Possibly.
Because this is Infinity War. This is where he's off on his own doing the whole Ronin thing.
You said it was between Civil War and Infinity War. So
Infinity War, he's with his family.
Oh, okay, so no Hawkeye reference. Yeah. Unless she stops to visit him first.
Because the end of Infinity War is where we get the snap and his family disappears. Yes. So I don't know if we get
technically
Hawkeye
the beginning
reference.
of Endgame, but
yeah, but like it happened.
Yeah, it happened end of Infinity War,
and basically his whole Ronin thing happened in between Infinity War,
the 5-year gap,
and Endgame.
Yeah.
But I don't think we get a Hawkeye reference in the Black Widow movie because of that fact.
You mean cameo?
Cameo.
Unless she stops to visit him.
Yeah, or she gives him a phone call or something like that. One of the two.
Hey, where you at? I'm in Budapest.
Yeah, we could get one of those. But I don't
another
think
Budapest reference. That's all we get.
He's not going to be a main part of the story.
Definitely not. I said, I said cameo at most.
Well, this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you think down below in that comment section.